Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hello, everyone. It is not Steve. It is Becky Brown. I'm glad to be with you today, and I am joined by Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Dave Stoop. Hi, you guys.
Hey,
Hi, Becky.
Good to see you.
What is so exciting is that we have added a new Finding Freedom workshop to our calendar this year for 2020.
Yay.
And just in case you didn't know, Finding Freedom will also, not only will it feature Steve doing the main sessions, but we've added Chris Williams, who's one of our hosts here. And if you're wondering about Finding Freedom, it's a great workshop to go to if you are in need of getting unstuck in some area of your life. I was just talking to someone earlier today who was interested in going, and she was identifying some dynamics. She had done a lot of, growth and felt like she had done a lot of work, but was recognizing some areas where she just felt like things were not going the way that she expected and wasn't living the life that she knew God had for her. And so some of the things that we'll talk about, are things about reactivity, about things like recovery, healing is a choice, material that everyone has just benefited from that work. But overall, the greatest thing about those workshops is that you're setting apart a time that you are going to say, I'm going to work on something that has been tripping me up. And, I just can't say enough about it. I know that I'm preaching to the choir, so to speak.
Well, right, but it is good, Becky, to have a time out away from our regular, activity and obligations, because day-to-day life, just keeps clipping along at a pretty fast pace. And so in order to really stop and reflect and pause and learn, we need to take a time out, right? And then be in the right place where that's all brought to us.
Yep, I think it's worth a try, and it could make all the difference in the world. You can give us a call at 800-NEW-LIFE, 800-639-5433, or you can check it out online. I want to get going with the calls today, and we're going to talk to Patricia, and she is calling from Washington, D.C., listens to the great station WAVA. Hi, Patricia. How can we help you today?
Hello, how are you? I have this long history from the age of about 16 becoming pregnant while I was a member of church with my mom. And through the advisement of leadership, I married the child's father, and we stayed married 10 years, but it was quite abusive marriage. So after that, I left that marriage, and I had two little children. So then about 3 or 4 years after leaving him, I met someone else who helped me raise the 8-year-old and the 10-year-old little girl, a boy and girl. And he was very kind to me. He was very good to me, and he taught me what a real marriage or what a real husband should be. So I was married to him 26 years, and he died of lung cancer, and I brought him hospice to my home, so I watched him die within the home. Okay, so
Patricia, you hear?
Now I'm married again.
Patricia, you hear the music. Give us a question. We'll come back to you after the break. Tell us what your question is before we go to break.
Okay. The question is that I'm married for the third time, and he wants to go to church now. That I want to end the marriage because of some situations. Should I follow him and go away from the church that has been with me all this long? Or should I follow this man who now wants to stay married, but now say God has called him back to the church?
Wow, that's a good question. And we'll think on that, and we'll answer it when we come back. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Whether you're listening on our free app or at newlife.com or on a radio station, we appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be right back.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, a physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 28th to March the 1st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hello, welcome back. You're with Becky Brown, Dr. Dave Stoop, and Dr. Jill Hubbard, and we were talking to Patricia before the break, and you, Patricia, are trying to decide whether you should follow your husband to this new church and abandon the church that you've been going to.
Oh, he's going to a different church. Sorry, Becky. Is that correct?
Yes, and he's a different nationality than me.
Oh, okay.
I'm African American. He's African.
Okay.
Okay. So how long has he been
yeah.
at the other church then?
Well, he says it's a church that he's known when he was in Africa, and they do have some other churches like that here.
Mm-hmm.
I did attend one service with him. I don't have a problem. They were doing the Christian Bible-based, but my problem is that I'm a minister too, and I've been rooted in this church and been working on many things. As he was not going to church, I was going. So now that he wants to go this way, do I stop what I'm doing going this way, if that's what God was sending me to, or do I follow my husband who, I don't know if he's doing this because I wanted the marriage to end based on some information I found out that he was involved in, or is he turning to God to get me to turn away from where I'm going just to make me feel as if things are going to go well? I'm not sure.
That's pretty complex, Patricia.
Right. Sounds like you don't have a lot of trust in him.
No, ma'am, definitely not. He did not reveal to me that when he was married, he had 3 kids, but he told me that the mother abandoned the children. So when it came to find out 1 year into the marriage, she did not abandon the kids, and now he has the weight of helping the ex-wife financially, as well as the 3 children, which are young, 10, 8, and 5-year-old children. And my son is 47. I'm 66. He's 52. So I had my children early, so I'm an older person. I can't just uproot very easily and move to another thing. It's very distracting. It gives me anxieties when I have to change something that has worked for me. And if I'm going to be a good wife and I'm going to give him a chance, then how do I give him a chance but still stay faithful to what God has put me in front of and blessed me so much as the direction I was going?
Well, do both,
if
Patricia.
I turn away from it.
Do both. Go to his church and go to your church. And go,
yeah, I don't know why it has to be an either or. Like, I don't think you need to give up all of your connections.
No.
From the past, right?
And if you're a minister with that church, you have a tie to that church that is broader than just a layperson. But I don't know why you couldn't do both and figure out a way to do both and see what happens and to kind of test the water to see if this is for real. He's wanting to develop a closer relationship with you, or if it's just a manipulative kind of behavior. Time will tell.
So many times when marriages have a break in trust, and this has had multiple, the question about what church you're going to is at the tip of that iceberg. And so there's lots of work that you guys need to be kind of focused on. And I think maybe, I don't know, what book would you guys recommend that we send to Patricia? Anything
Perhaps
come
How
to
We
mind?
Love?
How we love is what I thought about, but okay.
That's good.
I think that would be good. I also think worthy of her trust. I know that
yes.
it's not a sexual integrity thing per se, but I'm wondering, with all of the news that she just got, that that might not be helpful for her.
And why the secrets, right?
That's right.
Why the
That's
secrets
right.
about your past, only to have them
That's
come
right.
to light, right?
Well,
so
thanks for calling, Patricia, and I hope that helped. We're going to go to Sarah from Albany, who listens on our podcast, and you can listen on the podcast too if you want. You can download our free app. Sarah, how can we help you today?
Hi. So I have been with a man for a year and a half. For the first 6 months, I was very optimistic. He's got a great job. He was in the military. He's a father. He was divorced, but he was together with his wife for 10 years, and due to her infidelity, he left. So he's got some trust issues. So I thought he was slow to warm. He was slow to introduce me to his child. His child has special needs, and his child lives with his ex-wife's mother. The ex-wife she's homeless now. So he started going missing, and I was doing Bible study with his sister, and she revealed to me things that he never mentioned, that he was an addict. I Googled him. I found arrest records. I found a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to know, so I had to go about, acting. I acted normal, like I didn't know it, but I knew a lot of things. But I felt like, it's in the past. I'm not going to recriminate him for things that that are in the past. I myself had been addicted to opiates, and so he was having that same struggle. But I think he takes whatever he can get his hands on, and he doesn't do it very often. But when he does it, he goes missing, and it's for me very stressful because I don't know if he's okay. I don't know who he's with or what he's doing, and I wait and I worry. And then he promises me that he's sorry, and I said, just please be honest with me. We can go to meetings, we can go to church. He comes to church. He's willing to go to meetings, he says, but I go by myself and haven't.
So
he makes excuses
Sarah,
not to go. He says it doesn't help.
Sarah,
I don't know. Everybody says
how
get
can we
out
help
of this
you?
relationship.
Lots of red
But
flags,
what do you think?
Sarah.
He said there's so many red flags, and he says if someone's drowning, do you let them drown? Do you walk away and let them drown, or do you go in and help them? He's like, why don't you try to, if you really love me like you say you do, why don't you try to help me? I need you to be around. And I'm like, I don't see you trying to help yourself. And I'm taking a break right now, and my heart says that I should stay, but my head says, get out of this. Just, he's not helping himself. Just leave.
Yeah.
So,
Your
Sarah,
head's pretty smart.
Keep on lying.
Sarah. So, Sarah, when you have done your own recovery work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I do find meetings helped me. I found just getting away from that. I just removed myself from the situation, closed the door, and that was it.
Okay. Well, here's step 2 to that. Okay. Yes, you have to quit, but you're going to find your own healing and community. So maybe it won't be a traditional 12-step group. We have life recovery groups all over the country that, you can find one in your area. Just call us at 800, or you don't have to, but the listening audience can call us. Okay, great. Because here's the thing. You know that you can't change him. And you can only do you.
I don't really know that. I feel like
okay.
Right.
So,
and that's,
Sarah, a good way to measure is that you don't do for someone what they need to do for themselves. Okay? You do the things that they can't do, right? But you don't do for them what they need to do.
So many times in our own recovery, we can get sidetracked by the person who is out of control. And then it ultimately becomes us. we become the person out of control, and our codependency to try and understand. And then, like in this situation, Sarah's describing, he is kind of blaming her. You're
trying to make her feel guilty for not being there.
And it is so difficult when you're in relationship with somebody who's struggling with addiction, because the mind games that go on, not only with their own, because they want to support their own habit, but also your heart goes out. And like you said, Dave, her head was on the right track. Her heart was not leading her in the right direction.
Not at all.
Do you have anything else you want to offer her? I'd like to send Sarah a Life Recovery Bible.
Well, when somebody
ahead, Dave.
keeps saying that I need you to help me, that's like sucking you into the process of doing the impossible. You can't help him. He has to help himself, and he's not helping himself. If he was helping himself, you could work with him and fill in the gaps where he's not able to do it.
Exactly,
like Jill was
right.
saying.
Yeah, so if you offer some help, and then you see what they do with it. But if over and over again they don't pick up the help and run with it, right, and show some initiative, like if you're working harder than they are, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it is so difficult.
Working harder on their stuff.
On their
than
stuff.
they are.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Exactly. That's it. If you're working harder on their stuff than your own, then you might have an issue.
They are.
That's it. Well, thanks so much, Sarah, for calling. And, for anybody else that's struggling in relationship with someone who's in addiction, there is help. There's hope.
Right.
And we can help you.
Well, Becky, and here's
go
the
ahead,
thing.
Jill.
You can offer to take someone to a meeting, go to the meeting with them, but if they don't show up, what are you going to do? You can't drag them there. You can't make them listen.
Right. Hopefully you'll learn from that experience too. We're going to talk to John, who's calling us from Mobile, Alabama, and WBHY. And John, I'm so glad you called. How can we help you?
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call. And my question is, I have a 31-year-old son out of 6 children and 2 marriages that is finally convinced him to get in detox, and that's where he's at today.
Good.
But his stipulations are that I don't need to tell his mother or his sisters or brothers or church or anything to that, and I need to know if I need to honor that or what.
Well, Dave, what would
Well,
you say?
I would honor it at this point because it's kind of tenuous if he's just started into detox. But I would also say to him, at some point, that has to be reevaluated because you don't recover in secrecy. You got to be in openness, and we learned that when we were dealing with our own son's addiction. As long as we kept it quiet and hid it, no help was available. Only when we acknowledged our struggle that we found that there was help available. So, but don't make it an issue.
Detox is the beginning, right?
Yeah, it's the beginning, and we'll adapt those things as we go along as necessary. And we don't have to make a decision today. But today I'll honor what you want because we're starting the journey, and that's what's important.
Well, and a lot of times too, you can say, okay, I won't seek them out to tell them, but I won't lie if they ask me.
Oh yeah,
and that's a promise that you could make.
That's the situation after almost killing himself in one of my automobiles about 10 years ago. I tried to convince his mother, that he needed help. And, she was in total denial and, didn't want to hear it and all that stuff. And now he's married and got 3 kids and, needs a dad, for some financial support and everything. But,
well, and so there's the
and his wife knows.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're not the only one that's holding this information.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not me, myself, his wife, and him is the only one that knows it. They've told
And
me
you said Well, so here's the thing, though, John. You need support. Have you been part of recovery for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Offered to, counseling, therapy, the ones I've seen, through this journey, and,
It's hard. It's hard. Our heart is breaking for you, John. I know this is tough.
So many people's story.
Yeah, it is so many people's story, and he's in the right place. It is.
And it's a process
just,
and a journey, and he's got to come to owning up to it and sharing it with people who love him
And that's
most.
the responsibility of the program to help him understand that.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Let's send him a copy of your book, Dave, Understanding and Loving a Person with Chemical Addiction.
Yeah.
I think that'll be helpful. If you're struggling with anything, we can help. Give us a call, 800-NEW-LIFE.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Hello, welcome back. We are so glad you joined us and so thankful. For those of you who are holding on, please do, because we will get to your call. Let's just go right ahead. We're going to talk to Patty. Patty's calling us from Los Angeles in California and listens to us online, and you can too at newlife.com. We are there for you. Patty, how can we help you today?
Well, first of all, I want to say I love you guys. I'm so thankful for your ministry, and I do support your ministry. So,
thank you. We love you too, Patty.
You guys are great. I've learned so much. Basically, I'm in a blended marriage. We've been married about 25 years. We have all our kids are adults. They're all professionals. They do well, financially. But I guess what my question is around gift giving at Christmas time. Some of them are very generous and thoughtful, and some of them we just don't get anything, not even a card. So just wondering, how do I handle that? We tend to try to be generous with gifts to them, and we work hard for our money. So it's just kind of hurtful that, we don't get anything from some of them, not even birthdays and, no cards or anything like that. So just wondering how to handle that.
That is tricky.
That is.
Sure.
And were they all raised in the same way? I mean, you guys have been together 25 years, so this has been around a long time. So this has kind of been the family tradition. It's not like this is something new. You know, some families don't do a lot of gift giving and some families do.
Right. Well, we were married when the kids were teenagers.
Okay.
So some of them lived with us, some of them didn't.
Okay.
I do have to say it's my kids that are the ones that are the generous gift givers.
Okay.
Good job, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
Well,
so
you
your husband's kids, were they raised with that? What was their mother like? And then you also have to look at influences from the spouses and their families.
Well, I was going to say, or the dad. He's the dad. So
yeah,
when you guys have had those conversations, Patty, what have you guys talked about?
Well, you know, it's kind of one of those things that if we don't get anything from the kids, we just don't really talk about it. It's like, well, oh, okay, I guess they didn't send us anything, you know, and, but I think they're, at least from what I can tell, after we've been married, the spouses, their exes are generous to them, and you know, I don't know what they were like being raised, but
so
I know my husband has always been generous with gift giving to them. So.
Well,
okay.
I think it's time, Patty, to come up with something new. And it's not new, but it's old, but it's new for your family, that you do gift exchange and draw names. And that would...
Nobody wants to draw their names, though.
Well, they got to be willing. You got to discuss it and talk about it as a family.
Price limit.
Right.
Instead of ceiling on the price and stuff like that.
I think the other part of this is Patty, I think when it comes to gift giving, you know, God loves that cheerful giver, and he says, just decide in your heart what you want to give. And that when we give from this full heart. And I'm wondering if the gifts are just a representation of something else that's missing in your connection with the kids.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
You know, because it doesn't sound like you would be like, well, you know, you didn't give me a present. I don't hear that. But it's really kind of that disconnection of what you would like from a family member. And just that recognition that Christmas is the time, or birthdays are the time, that we acknowledge that, you know, we're glad you're alive and we're celebrating Jesus's birth and all those kind of things. But I think you're going to, if you don't take Dave's advice about everybody just do a gift draw or something like that, sometimes we do those white elephant gift, those gift swaps, you know, make kind of a gift game out of it. But I think the bigger question is really about the loss, not financial, but literally, what are we missing here? Does that sound accurate?
So at a time, not when it's a gift-giving time, to maybe have your husband, you know, sit down with them and just ask them. We're just wondering the meaning of this. It's not like we need more gifts, right? But just try to connect with them.
Yeah, and we tend to have a great relationship with all of them, and we live out of state from them. So we usually just send money is the thing, and we don't get together at Christmas time like as a family.
Okay, so that may be part of it.
A number of us are in ministry, and so you know, everybody's busy at Christmas time, and so I that's what I struggle with too, is the resentment. Is it me? But I don't know.
You know what I find too with some kids, no matter how old they are, in relation to parents, it's like kids internalize their parents and think that they just know how they feel about them and forget to communicate that. And that sounds like some of them have kept that hierarchy where parents do more of the giving. They receive. Well, parents should just know, they should understand I'm busy, I'm in ministry, I'm this, that they forget that parents are people too that need some, you know, reminders of the connection.
I just appreciate you calling, Patty, because it is it's tricky as families get older and there's distance in time, and we all have to just kind of find what will work for our family. But you definitely want to guard against that resentment that's starting to build up, because you definitely don't want to be giving out of a resentful heart expecting something in return, because that won't end up anywhere good. But we thank you for calling today.
My wife had found me out through my past and my sexual addiction since I was a small child. It really gave me the opportunity to start digging into my past, start digging into my childhood, figure out what was causing me to feel the way I was feeling. Every Man's Battle will really give you that opportunity, because all the guys there in that room are there for the exact same reason you're there. I don't want to be the reason that my kids are going to counseling. I don't want to be the reason that they begin to struggle with the same issues that I'm struggling with, and I've got to put an end to this. Yes, you can be different. God does love you. You can be forgiven for this, and there's a way out of this. But you have to acknowledge that you have to change, and that there's a problem.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to hand down something to another generation that just looks like pain and destruction. You can hand down redemption, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay in the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you a set of 4 devotionals, 100 Days of Character, Peace, Prayer, and the newly released 100 Days of Healing. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Hello, welcome back. We are so glad you joined us. And if there's any way that we can help you with anything, you can give us a call. Maybe not fixing the kitchen sink. We can't do that. But we might give some advice. No, you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And right now we are encouraging people to download our app so you can listen there. You can get free resources. You can also give online through the app, and it's free, and you can learn about life recovery groups and life recovery and all the things. And if you need download instructions, you can go to newlife.com.
And then we also have the Life Recovery app that my son helped put together.
That's
where
exciting.
It counts your days of sobriety, of recovery. It has resources, has a devotional for each day. And you can go to the App Store and look it up and see if it's something you want to try out.
Well, now we're going to go and do what we really like to do and talk to people. Lucia, how do you say that? We are calling
Lucia.
Thank you, Lucia, for calling us from KKLA in California. We are so happy that you have waited. What is the call? What is the question that you have for this call?
Well, the question is in regards to my husband. We say we have an argument, and instead of making it to where we both can understand one another to fix the problem, he just blurs out so much negative stuff on our marriage. Like our marriage is just a waste of time. It's toxic. It's just everything's my fault. Everything he does is because of me. He never takes accountability for anything that he does wrong in a relationship. So to me, it's just frustrating because, I see so many things that are so wrong. And if I point it out, it's always like, it's not true. It's because of you. So I have to always take the blame for it.
Which feels horrible, Lucia. So he can't own anything, right? So he can't tolerate anything bad about himself. He has to dump it all on you, and he's very black and white. This is all or nothing.
Yes, of course, exactly, just how you put it. And it's just, out of nothing. Like, we just got into a little argument not too long ago. And, and it was just like, okay, we're going to the doctor to better you, and you're getting upset out of what? Like, there was really nothing for him to get upset. And from there, he just said, he's wasting his time with me. Our marriage is just...
Okay, so when he does that, Lucia, you have to not listen to the verbiage he goes into, because he starts on a spiral and just in 30 seconds, he's down at the bottom, right? His whole life, everything's ruined. Nothing is good. Okay? So you just have to see that's where he hits his ability to cope, or actually to not be able to cope. Okay? When
Lucia,
you get that... Go ahead.
Well, and I want to know, how long have you guys been married? How long has this been the routine that you guys have done?
Well, we've been married for 12 years. We've been together for 13. I had 3 kids by a previous relationship that it was a long term. And then I married him after knowing him. We've known each other for 3 years, but after a year of dating, we started seeing each other, and we married.
Okay, and so has this been kind of the way that you guys do conversation when things get heated? Is this how it's always been?
No, it has not been like that. It started in the past, say, 4 years. He started going on a spiral of hanging out with people that I believe had some influence in his life. He started, I found out that he started recreationally using cocaine.
Well, there you go. There you go. So, Lucia, this isn't you. This isn't you. This is him. And there's the problem. Yeah. It's not just the guilt. It's what's happening, to his brain because he's using drugs and the influences that are around him. The most important thing is, for your safety, for your kids' safety, we don't want it to escalate to a place where you would get hurt. And, here's the thing. Right. Just the yelling is hurtful. Like he doesn't have to hit you in order for this to be painful. And obviously that's where you guys are. Are there any folks around you that are support people, whether it's you guys have gone to a counselor? I mean, he kind of used that as a retaliatory insult, but are you seeking help?
Well, I do have my mother's support. She's a Christian, and she guides me through a lot. Good. I'm here studying because of her prayers and because of God's mercy. I'm not trying to let it affect me, but it's really hard because the verbal words is really toxic. I spoke to his family because they're also Christian, but they're not trying to hear it. They're in denial about their son using. And he has been very volatile before, for what his mom told me, that he's just like his father. He's very aggressive, very narcissistic type style, but I never was aware of that. And now it's like,
but the cocaine use just exacerbates everything.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. It makes it all worse.
He's also probably fighting with you the way his mom and dad fought, and the way his dad did what his dad did, and you just said that. So so you're dealing with family patterns or generational patterns that are being passed on, and you can't really deal with that by yourself. You got to have help with dealing with that.
Right, because now he has no filter with the drug use.
That compounds the whole thing.
Yeah, which
he has taken it to where he admits it to me. Before he would hide it. Now it's just like, I need it, and it's either I'm going to use it, or whenever I want to, or whenever I hang out with my buddies, there's nothing that you could say about it.
Okay, so his mistress is called cocaine.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, Lucia. This is a big boundary issue on top of chemical addiction and all that kind of. It all is part of this kind of web that's wrecking your marriage. And so my suggestion would be, we'll send you a copy of Boundaries because it's going to be important. But I want to encourage you. You need to be involved with a recovery group. Al-Anon would be good. Narconon would be good. You have to have some structure so that the conversation, the question that you asked us started with, my husband and I have these conversations that get really escalated. But the bottom line is he's using cocaine and he is an angry, volatile person. That's the bottom line. And I think sometimes when we're in these situations, it's so overwhelming. And even, Lucia was saying that she's trying not to let this affect her. This affects you.
Right, right.
I mean, there's
right.
no...
And there's no having a good conversation.
No.
While he's being an addict. Right?
Right, exactly. And that's where the change has to come.
And when you go to Al-Anon meetings, don't do it in secret.
Let him know.
Let him know you're going, but let him know that you're going because you need help in dealing with some of the stuff that's going on in the marriage.
Right, and she'll learn that through boundaries because, here's the thing that we teach about all the time is that until you quit participating in the process, it's just going to continue, right?
Right.
So somebody
Becky,
has to quit.
How about Dave's book, Understanding and Loving a Person with Substance Abuse?
I love that. We're going to send that to you, Lucia.
Or with addictions. I forget the exact title.
Chemical addiction. Yes, one of those. Yes. Okay, so we're going to talk to Robert now, who's calling from California, KKLA as well. Robert, how can we help you today?
Good morning.
Good morning or afternoon, depends on where you are.
Oh yeah, afternoon. I have a wife that's she's been diagnosed bipolar, and I have a 34-year-old daughter that lives with us, and I believe she's also bipolar. She has a lot of different highs and lows, ups and downs, and we've been having a lot of trouble dealing with her right now. She's become very verbally abusive. And
so
my wife is seeing a psychiatrist right now, but my daughter refuses to go. We've tried to talk her into it and seen if we can go as a family, and she doesn't want to go. And things have become really bad where my wife seems like she's going to lose her marbles. And so I'm trying to find, I'm in desperate need of finding something that we can do.
Okay. Well, one of the questions that comes to my mind is, why is your 34-year-old daughter living at your home? Is she not able to work because of her illness, or how did that get started?
No, she's worked off and on, and she just wants to stay here with us, and Mom doesn't want her to go.
Okay, so there's the dynamic right there. Yeah. Well, Robert, that family is it's always interesting, and then you throw in something like a bipolar disorder diagnosis that can be pretty stressful. And so when we come back from the break, we'll see what we can do. We help people figure out what to do. But we also have resources. So if you don't call us, you can call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE for those.
She said, we need to talk. She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. They'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. It's no longer simply about surviving. For the first time ever, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Hello, we're back. This is Becky Brown, and we're together with Dr. Jill Hubbard and Dr. Dave Stoop. We're talking to Robert, and his wife has a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, and he thinks that the adult daughter that lives with them also has the disorder, but she will not go to the doctor. So, Robert, we were talking at the break just about the whole dynamic, about the fact that, here's, the daughter who is living with you, she's working, and yet your wife wants her there, but it kind of makes her upset because she is there. So is that kind of the gist of all of that?
She wants it all to be peaceful, but it's not peaceful. It'll be peaceful for a couple of days, and then she'll explode, and everything will get a mess again. And so it's just hard.
Yeah, it's almost, Robert, like you sitting the both of them down. And it's like there's lots of things we want in life, but we have to live in the reality of what is. And so if your wife is living off the potential of, oh, but I want my daughter around because it could be really great, but it's not great, well, then we have to deal with the not great. And at 34, it's really a privilege to be living at home.
Right.
And I think there needs to be some criteria. Like, if you would like to live at home, then you must see the psychiatrist. Right?
Or you can't blow up. You can't make, I mean, you don't even have to go to the extreme of having to go to the doctor. It's just like this mode of conduct is not okay in the house. And so if you want to stay here, if you blow up again, you're going to be asked to leave. Like, you're old enough to figure this out. And the reason why I say that as opposed to going to the doctor is because you can't make her go.
Well, it's true.
But you can decide what's going to be okay in your house.
And you have to tell your wife, this isn't working for you.
Right.
Dave,
what do you want to say?
It's filling some of the need, some role in the family that I can't put my finger on right yet. There's something.
Yeah. What is it for?
That the wife has a shield with the daughter. That somehow it keeps you from her.
Yes. Sometimes when she gets like this, there's been times where I've tried to step in and talk to her and try to get her to calm down because she gets really abusive with my wife and stuff, and then she just starts attacking me. So then my wife doesn't want me to talk to her.
Right, because she's codependent.
That's just going to escalate it. So she'd rather have me not do anything.
But your daughter controls things
calms down
by escalating.
Yeah, she's very controlling.
Right. So if she gets angry enough, Mom will rescue her and render you powerless.
So the big challenge that you have, Robert, is how are you making all of this okay? Which I know that sounds like a crazy question, but we are tolerating things that, we say aren't okay, but you're putting up with it and you're, kind of going along with it. And unless she has some impairment that she needs to live with you guys, I think that you and your wife have to first decide what kind of home do we want to have. Do we want a home where there is an outburst or the threat of an outburst, or do we want to have a peaceful home? And then you can invite the daughter, okay, if you want to be part of the peaceful home, you know, and a
Right.
peaceful home doesn't mean that nobody says anything.
Right.
It literally is a respect of each other and kindness towards each other, love, you know, not
Yeah,
making
that's
crazy.
what we want here at the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
I would
what
be
my wife says.
I would be asking your wife also, Robert, what is she afraid of?
If she
If
she
she-
moves forward with
Right, if she lets the daughter go. What is she
I
afraid
think
of?
she's afraid of. I think she's afraid of her leaving and maybe doing something to herself or
Right.
something, because she's said that before.
Yeah.
That, you know.
Well,
so the
that's,
daughter manipulates the situation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So that
And I try to, you know, please my wife and and do what she wants to do, and she keeps, you know, we keep going over the same, trying
Right.
to handle it the same way, and it's not
Right.
working. And I
Okay.
tell her
Right.
that's insanity. You can't keep doing the same
Right.
Exactly,
over and
Robert.
over.
That's
Good,
right.
Robert.
We need to do something with it.
So Robert,
What-
does she?
what
I have a question. I have a question though, Joel. Does you said that your wife is diagnosed and she has someone that she sees for treatment, right?
Yes, but right now she's seeing her very limitedly, and you know, I
Just be
yes,
meds.
she needs to hear more.
Okay, so my recommendation would be that you and your wife go to a counselor.
Yeah, that's
your
what I was
wife should be
thinking.
with a counselor on a regular basis, you know, just to manage this,
Yeah.
and create a strategy for how this is going to go forward. You can't. You're right. You're going to do the same thing over and over again because that's what you've been doing, and
Right.
it will help you guys have a you know, kind of a structure. But also, you could invite your daughter into that at some point.
Right.
Jill, what
yeah.
were you gonna
Well,
say?
I was
Yeah.
going to say the same
Yeah.
thing, that you guys need help talking if you keep going around the same song and dance, because I think it needs to start with the two of you having conversation. So you have to work
Right.
out where you two are stuck on it and come up with
Right.
a compromise of what you can stand united on, and then invite your daughter into that. So
Right,
get some
right.
help to do that.
Right. And I think, you know,
Yeah.
so many times when we are in situations where crisis is ruling, it's literally like you're running around a house that's burning down with buckets of water, thinking
Right.
that you're going to put the fire out, and you're so exhausted from doing all the running around, you can't think straight. So it really helps to step apart from the cycle, get some help outside of that. And, you know, I think it'll make a big difference. Let's send, what do you think? Take Your Life Back might be a really good book for Robert and his wife. I think that could
Both
be
of them.
helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we appreciate everybody that listens, and we love to be able to do what we do, but we need your help to do this. And so I want to thank the Club New Life folks that are part of that giving family. But if you haven't joined Club New Life and you've been listening for a while, maybe today's the day that you call and join. We have a gift of 4 devotional books that you can read something every day, which will be life transforming. But you also have the video library to your disposal to learn and make changes in your life. But, you know, we just really enjoy the partnership that we have with so many people that give. And I just want to encourage you, if you haven't given yet, make today the day that you support us in what we're doing. I want to ask my folks, do I have time for another call in the California office? No? Okay.
No,
So
ma'am.
then, Dave, why don't you give us some of your great wisdom to close out the show?
Well, we talked earlier how the question is not really the question so often. It's a way to get into the question, but once they've asked that question, then the real question comes, and that's
Right.
happens in counseling as well. Where you come to the counselor and you kind of have rehearsed what you're going to ask, and then in the conversation that follows, the real question comes to the surface.
And I think that's because we're too close to our own problems, right? So we
Yeah.
are trying to get a handle on it, so we come up with what we think, oh, if we could just tackle this part of it.
Yeah,
And
it's still short-sighted because
right.
you're too close to it.
Right. And so, yeah, it is. It's like that, taking a little bucket to throw on a huge forest fire. That doesn't quite do the trick,
And as soon
right?
as you get this fire out, there's another one over there. You gotta
Right.
get to.
Always.
So that's when you need people that can stand back and look at the whole thing and help
right.
you to wrap your arms around it.
And
That's right.
sometimes it's totally opposite what you think in terms of what you do with it, and it takes somebody with objectivity to make that clear.
And a wisdom comes from many counselors too, so it's scriptural to get help.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks so much, you guys, for being here today, and I appreciate Jill and Dave so much. And thanks to all the listeners. Stay in touch with us. If you need anything, please call us, 800-NEW-LIFE. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.